Hello everyone, it's Jason from Alphatone Audio back again, and today I want to talk about stripping cable. Now, as I've said before, I believe about 90% of all the work in doing your custom cable is in the prep work. It's just as important as learning how to solder, which a lot of people think is the most important thing. This is equally important. When you really get your strip lengths down and you get all your individual conductor lengths down and your prep work is done correctly, everything's just going to fall into place when it comes time for the assembly and the soldering part. So don't gloss over this kind of stuff. This is the difference between doing like really good quality cables that are going to last you a long time and cables that just won't. So today I'm going to show you three different techniques for three different applications. We're going to talk about just getting the outer jacket off of standard instrument or microphone cable. We're going to then move on to the inner conductors, and then I have some multi-pair, 8-pair cable over here, and we're going to talk about getting the jacket off of that. Now, what most people do when they sit down to do this is they just get something like an X-Acto knife or just a good old-fashioned utility knife like this, and they're just going to stick the blade on there and just kind of rolling and cut into it and then pop it off. And honestly, that's fine, and that's going to get a lot of prep work done for you. However, I want to talk about three different variables that come into play when you do this. One is going to be the sharpness of the blade, which is obviously going to dull over time, and this is going to require you to push harder into the cable. The second is the amount of force that you have to use just to get through the outer jacket in the first place. And different jackets are, some are easier to cut, some are harder to cut. And then you also have the thickness of the jacket, which means how deep you actually have to cut. It's going to be a little bit thicker over there on that multi-pair than it is over here on this really thin Mogami 2314. So keeping those three things in mind, remember, all you want to do is just cut through the jacket, or at least probably about 90–95% of the way through that jacket, and not damage the copper on the inside. You want to preserve all of this if you can. Now, if you have a fresh blade and you're only working with one kind of cable and you just kind of get used to it, and especially like this cable, this is not very durable on this particular cable type, it's pretty easy and you can get into a rhythm and you can do really good repeatable work. However, if you find yourself working with, tougher outer jackets, or you switch up different cables all the time, working with thinner jackets, thicker jackets, that kind of thing, and you just want a little bit more control and the flexibility to go with all these different cable types, then this is where this first technique is going to come into play. Now, before I get into this, I want to give credit where credit is due. A lot of this comes directly from the audio wiring guide, which is if you really want to get into building a lot of your own stuff, this is an invaluable reference. There's tons of great information here. It's always pretty close to my workbench. I think it's out of print, but you can certainly find, I got a library copy myself, but you can get on Amazon or something, you can find a copy. So if you want to just if you want to get into it, or if you already kind of do some assembly and you maybe just want to up your skill set, learn a few new tricks, I highly recommend it. And lastly, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with razor blades in this video. Please be careful. Razor blades are obviously very sharp, and I don't want anyone to cut themselves. The only thing we're going to cut today is insulation. First thing you're going to need are razor blades, not the utility knife blades with the angles on the end, but safety scraper blades. And they look like this. A little paper covering on there. Rectangular with this guard piece on the top. Okay. The second thing you're going to need is a bench vise, whatever size you want, big and small. I like this little small one here, which I've had like forever. If you don't have one, they're handy to have for lots of reasons. If you do a lot of building, I would say you absolutely have to have one just for when you do your assembly work. But just about anything will do. Now, how this technique goes is, once you have one of your razor blades, what you're going to do is you're going to put the razor blade into the vise. And you can see I already have this one in here. And what you're looking for is you want the blade to come up above the surface of the vise, approximately however thick the insulation is on the cable that you're stripping. Now, if you look at this cable here, I just took a little bit of the insulation off, and you can open it up flat, and you can kind of lay it down and like just start to use that as a guide. But this is going to be just a 1/16 of an inch maybe for most cables, a little bit thicker for like really heavy instrument cables. But you can use that as a guide, just kind of get started and figure out how high that blade needs to go. And what you're looking for is, when you get this set in, the blade is nice and tight, and don't leave any edge sticking out because you don't want to catch yourself on the corner. Is you want to be very careful. You never want to put your finger over the blade, but You just take your cable, you find out how much strip length you're going to need, and you're going to just very gently on each side, you're just going to push down and you're just going to roll it across the blade. And what you're looking for, again, you want to cut most of the way through. You can see this is pretty close. That blade's probably a little bit low. If you do get it close and you have just some little stragglers of jacket, you can always then just go back to the utility knife and just very easily roll that utility knife through there. And those last little pieces will break. And what you're looking for is when this jacket comes off, if you give the cable a little tap, and if you look inside the jacket and there's no stray copper in there, that's what you want. Again, you want to cut through the jacket, you don't want to cut into the copper. So as you're doing this, whether you do one cable or if you do 100, you shouldn't see a bunch of this stuff on your workbench. These little loose copper bits from the braid or the strand or whatever you have. You shouldn't have any of these on the workbench when you're done if you really want to take your time and do the best work you can. You never want to cut into the copper. So another good thing about this technique is if you want, I know last video I did was on story poles, you could always put a piece of tape over here on one edge of the vise, and then you can use that as a marker. So you're always getting consistent strip length. So if you're going to do 20 or 50 of like one connector and you always need to take the exact amount of insulation off, it's nice just to always have that as a guide. You just take the edge of the cable, you put it on, and you just roll it along, and you just go over and over again. Again, this is probably just a hair low. Let me pull it up just a little bit. If I just take the same cable, run it along, and then it comes right off. Again, if I just cut that off, one more time, same cable, and I brought that up. Just a little twist to break anything that's left, and it comes off. Nice clean piece of jacket, no stray copper wires, easy, repeatable, and consistent. A variation of that technique is to just make a tool. This is helpful if you don't have a vise or just don't like the idea of the exposed blade like that. And with two razor blades, if you look at the folded metal piece on one, you're going to use that as like the surface of the vise we used before as your depth stop. And you're just going to run it up. I'm just going to guess on this one. Put a piece of tape over here, tape these together. And you can always be as secure as you need to with these. If you have a lot to do, you can always put a drop of glue in there or something. And also, definitely, no matter how you secure these together, always put a piece of tape, because you're going to have, however much blade is exposed on this side, you'll have the same amount on this side. So for safety, you always just want to make sure that's taped off. And then you just have a blade with the depth stop built in, and you just roll that over. And same thing. Again, clean cut. Give it a little tap, no coppers are falling off. Inside the jacket, no stray pieces of copper. And that's it. Once that's set, it'll stay there, and you can just use it over and over again until the blade gets dull. And then just switch it, take the tape off, put the tape on this side, tape up the dull side, and then use this fresh sharp edge over here to do some more. Now that we have the outer jacket off and the conductor exposed, I think the easiest and most obvious way to strip that off is by using the most easiest and obvious tool, which is a wire stripper. These are great. I use them all the time. But there's a little bit of technique that I want to show you with these. So the obvious thing to do is to take your conductor, bring the wire cutters together, or wire strippers together, squeeze, and then pull off and expose the conductor, which is fine, but you have to be careful, because if you start to angle these a little bit, it's very easy to take like a vegetable peeler approach, and you don't want to do that because it's very easy to actually just shear off the conductor. So to protect it a little bit more, let's clip that off, what you can do, put the conductor in, close it normally, but then open it just a little bit so the blades are still inside of the insulator, and then pull off. Same effect, but all it does is it just creates a little bit of space between the blade and the copper. Similar, you can cut all the way through, take it all the way off, and then actually move the strippers up a little bit. And you can even use a smaller wire gauge here and just cut into the insulation a little bit above the cut and then pull off. Or just use your fingers. Again, if I cut and then just cut in, take it off, get in there, put your fingernails in the cut, and then pull it off. It just keeps a blade from rapidly moving along the conductor and stripping in those little individual strands off. It's just a little bit safer. Another tool that you can use if you want to save yourself a little bit of time is what I call just an adjustable gauge, a wire stripper. These are Miller, what are they, 101s, number 100-101S. The good thing about these is in case you ever get some wire that just tends to be just a little bit in between gauges, or if you just want a smaller, lighter tool. And again, the nice thing about these multi-gauges is they do a lot of different gauges, but then you always have to make sure that you're using the right cutting hole on there. With these, you don't really have to think about it. And how you use them, you just have this adjustable screw here, and you would loosen the screw, and the farther up it goes, the larger the gauge is going to accommodate, and the farther down it goes, the smaller the gauge is going to accommodate. So again, if you just want a smaller, lighter tool, and that's, I don't know, it's just different. It's especially nice for a slightly thicker gauge wire. Like I have this other pair over here, and it goes all the way to 10 gauge, but if you have something a little bit thicker than that, it can be nice. And you don't have just quite as much, it's just a little bit closer. You can get your thumb and kind of just push away a little bit more. You just get a little bit more control. You don't have to deal with all the leverage of having such a long tool while you're stripping wire. So again, these are perfectly fine. Just make sure to take a little bit of extra care when using to rip the insulation off the center conductor. And a tool like this, an adjustable stripper, is nice if you just want a smaller, more compact, repeatable tool. And lastly, we have multi-pair cable. Now, when you're working with multi-pair, and this is 8-channel here, you're commonly going to remove quite a bit more of the outer jacket than you would on a standard instrument or microphone cable. Meaning everything we've done so far when we were stripping the end off this, you're really only taking 3/4, maybe 1 inch off of the end. On multi-pair cable, it's not uncommon to take 3 or 4 feet off the end because maybe you have some pigtails or a breakout, or you have to go into a panel or something like that. Now, because of that, just typically doing just one cut around the cable, a circular cut like we've been doing, isn't going to work because all that friction on the inside of the cable over 3 to 4 feet of the outer jacket is going to make it too hard to pull the outer jacket off. So what you can do with this is, in addition to making a circular cut, is we're going to make a long cut along the length of the cable as well. And to do that, we're going to make a tool just like we did before with 2 razor blades. But before, we went across the blades like this to orient our depth of cut. This time we're going to go lengthwise to orient the depth of cut. And just like again, we're going to use this folded piece of sheet metal up here at the top as a depth stop. What I'm looking is at this corner right here. I just want to open that up. And again, this is very easy to eyeball when you do this. You want to just find the skinniest part of the outer jacket there and just kind of line it up. And I'm going to start right about here and just tape it up like we did before. Now, you can actually do 2 tools with this. You can use one for the lengthwise cut, and then you can also use one for the circular cut around the cable we did before. So I'm going to do the lengthwise cut first. And let's just drop it in. I'm pretty confident, about a 45-degree angle, and I'm just going to run that down. And just like before, I'm not looking to cut 100% of the way through, as long as I can get a good score on there where I can go in and then I can just break it off. And some of this multi-pair is pretty tough, but it looks like I did pretty good on that one first time. All the way down to the end of the score there. And then I'm just going to very quickly, I'm just going to redo these 2. Redo it just the way we did before, where now I'm looking at more of a circular cut tool. This is a little bit thicker than what I was working with before. That's about right. I'm just going to roll that around. And it's a little bit harder to keep everything parallel and not get into a spiral cut on thicker cable, but and that's it. that came up pretty well. And if you have any chaff, or if you got a bit of a spiral, you can always just come in with the utility knife, or just, I mean, don't forget about your good old wire cutters, and clean that up a little bit. And that's that. That's a good approach for multi-pair cable. So to wrap up, made it all the way through the video. No cuts, no blood, no Band-Aid required. You probably do want to go just a little bit slower than I did. Make sure you have extra tape on those razor blades so you don't have any exposed blade or corners where you don't want them. Take your time, really make sure you get them set up. And again, if you'd like, it's really nice if you use white tape like this, because if you get one set up and it works well for you with the particular wire gauge, go ahead and write like I was using Mogami 2314 for all this, go ahead and write 2314 on there. So if you have to put this aside, come back to it tomorrow, your tool's already there and it's just ready to go. As soon as your blades start to get dull, swap them out. It's nice that these come in quantities of 100, and this was only a few dollars. These are really, really cheap. Sharp blades are safe blades. They give better results. They don't force you to overcompensate. If you get a dull blade, the harder you're going to push, the better chance you have of something slipping, just cutting too deep. Trust me, sharp blades are safer than dull blades. Don't forget to fall back on the utility knife. Like I said, over and over again, you don't always just want to plan on cutting 100% of the jacket and not hitting the copper. It's very difficult to do. If you just want to use the utility knife and go through that, that's fine. Just maybe leave yourself a little bit of room in the insulation so you can break it apart. Okay, don't get too overzealous and start to cut too deep with these. Again, on the wire strippers, which are great for the inner conductors, I've been using the Kleins forever. They last a really long time. I know I've had this larger set I've had at least 10 years and it still works well. The smaller gauge was got a lot more use. I just replaced recently, but again, you should get a decade's use out of these at least, even if you do quite a bit of work. If you want to try something a little different, a little bit lighter, something that gives you a little bit more control, the adjustable gauge strippers are nice. I said these are the Millers. The model number is 100-101S. I'll put some links down in the description. And don't forget about the Strip Master, which I do use occasionally, particularly if I'm doing very short cables, because sometimes it's very easy to pull that conductor right out of the wire. I did talk about the phenomenon where you can get into like the vegetable peeler effect, where you're kind of going an angle and you're going against the conductor. The nice thing about the Strip Master, it is impossible to do that because the blades always pull exactly straight out from the wire, and this part holds the wire down. So it's always very, very secure. I've never, ever cut a conductor off using your Strip Masters. I do find them a little difficult if I'm using this very short strip lengths though, just because this tends to get backed up a little bit, especially if you're using like, you know, mic cables or MIDI cables or something like that. A lot of the cable tends to get bunched up back here. But for a lot of things, they're great. I mean, it's not a bad tool. They definitely have their place. It's not something I use every day, but when I do use them, I really enjoy them. And don't forget about good old-fashioned wire cutters. In case you make a little bit of a spiral cut, you just get a little bit of, you know, just stray insulation. Just go there, clean it off, do whatever you have to do. So, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you will get better results in your future prep work. If you found this helpful, please give me a like and a subscribe, and I will see you next time.